You've probably already seen this stat. Last night was the first Oilers win in more than 3 years without McDavid or Draisaitl getting on the score sheet. And it's a pretty mind-boggling stat, to be honest. And it sort of begs a question: are these two guys the most irreplaceable duo in hockey history, in your opinion?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're two key players on our team that play a lot of offensive situations, and I think it's more a credit to them that the amount that they impact the game is every game. If they go into a game, they're going to get points most nights. So you're talking about a small percentage of games where they don't get points, and then the rest of the team chips in and wins. But it's, to me, that stat is more about how many points, how many games they actually do get points in, than if they don't get it and our team wins.
Reiner Shaw, TSN.
Dave, you got a goal from Evan Bouchard last night. Tyson Berry, same thing in almost 25 minutes. Adam Larson's on the ice at the end of the game, defending a lead. Like, you're getting some real good contributions from the right side, and Ethan Bear's potentially on his way back here. So,
Yeah.
it's a good problem to have, but how do you manage all of these guys on the right side that are needing ice time and playing well?
Well, we'll just take it day by day and see when Bear gets back, see how it goes. But our group of D has, we're trying to find the right mix there. But I like that even when guys have been out and come back in, like Cuckoo came in last night, and um, the areas that he can impact was the penalty kill. He had 3 shot blocks in that penalty kill in the second period that were huge for us. So, our group of D, we said at the start of the year, we've got great depth. We got 9 guys here that we feel like we can use, and when they all get in there, they all try to do the job the best they can. So we'll continue to see if we can find the mix, and that might be game to game on matchups or certain things we're looking at, and how many people will want in certain roles, whether puck moving or PK or PP stuff. So lots of factors there, and we'll hopefully find the right mix.
You've tried 7 defensemen a couple of times. How did you like it being behind the bench? And the second part of that is, among those right shot guys, do you feel you have any options among them to move a guy over to the left side?
Well, we've talked about that a little bit. The 7D, I don't mind the 7D. It depending on your back to back, or depending on usage of that extra forward, how many minutes they're getting. There's a lot of factors that come into play, but the 7D is not a bad option for us. Um, it makes it harder for teams to match up on the forward lines when you got Draisaitl or McDavid that's double shifting now and then. It makes it a harder matchup for the other team. So there's some advantages, some disadvantages. You don't get into a rhythm with your D, but we'll continue to monitor it, and we'll find the best solutions hopefully each night.
Derek Van Diest, Post Media.
Hi, Dave. I just wanted to ask you about the importance of the two goaltenders having two basically starting goaltenders that you can rotate through. You're
Yeah.
seeing it work in Montreal with Carey Price and Jake Allen. How big is it to have Mike Smith back, and now you can get into a bit of a routine with your goalies here?
Well, it's a big factor, and that's when both of our guys were at their best last year. So getting Schmidt back, it just allows them both to be fresh when they play. Koskinen came in last night and gave us a real strong game. And watching the game, lots of talk about shots on goals, but the actual chances for and against were not near as lopsided as what the shots were. Ottawa threw a lot of pucks at the net. We weren't quick enough to retrieve pucks and have more puck possession. But that being said, Ottawa they dumped a lot of pucks at the net, weren't really scoring chances, and the shot totals went up accordingly. But we needed saves at the right time. Koskinen made one. We had a turnover late in the period that he had a point blank one that he made a great save on. So he came in last night. He gave us a chance to win, and that's all you can ask from your goaltender. If we've got a fresh guy going every night, hopefully they can do that for us every night.
And when it comes to deploying them now, do you look at the schedule or do you kind of go by feel game to game when it comes to who you're going to start?
You know what? It's more by feel right now, just till we get Schmitty up and going here, and then we'll get them both up and playing regular, and then we'll, it's going to be a little different than last year because the schedule's so condensed this year. You're, more back-to-backs and more 3 and 4s and 4 and 6s, so you're going to have to use both of them. Whether we get into certain teams that we'd like one guy against more than the other, we'll see how that goes.
Guillaume Lamfrancois, La Presse.
Hi, Dave. I wanted to circle back on the first question there about Connor and Leon, that crazy stat. That the flip side of it, obviously, is maybe the depth scoring that over the years might have been an issue with the Oilers. Where do you feel you stand this year regarding your secondary scoring behind those two guys?
I like our depth better this year, and you got to remember there's different kind of things that happen on our team where Connor and Leon take a big chunks of power play. So secondary scoring sometimes is under what it would normally be because those guys take so much time on the power play. Usually your secondary scoring gets some power play time. We run a power play that, those guys go 1:40, 1:45 every power play. So the second group doesn't get a lot of time. But that being said, we've got some people that are contributing. We like to think our D is a part of our offense. They're contributing. So I think we're farther ahead where we were last year. But you still want to be a well-balanced team. That's how you become a good team. If you have scoring right through.
All right. The results obviously are there, especially for these two guys with as you said, the amount of power play time that they get. Do you feel like it's sustainable though to go a whole season and giving them as much ice time as they have been getting thus far?
It all depends. It goes. They've had games where they're under 20 minutes, and then there are games where they're right around 20 or 22, and then we've had a couple games where we've had a lot of power plays and they get up a little higher. So it goes game by game, but we monitor the ice time they get and where they're at, make sure they have enough rest, and we'll just continue to monitor that. And we're not going to push anybody into fatigue situations, but we'll try to maximize their output.
Reed Wilkins, 630 Chad.
Morning, Dave. Josh Archibald has played every game. He moves up and down a bit if you need it. You're comfortable using him in every situation. What makes Archibald such a versatile and trustworthy player?
He just does a lot of things right. You look at the structure he plays with. He plays with as a real smart player. He's willing to sacrifice his body, blocking shots or getting in lanes or finishing checks, and positionally he's really sound. So he's just a guy you throw out in certain situations. You trust his play, and he gives you maximum effort every night.
And on a bit of a different note, Montreal obviously is a very famous hockey city.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite memory going in there, either as a coach or a player, a game or a moment that really stands out?
There's lots of, in the old Forum was really unbelievable place to play, and the history in that. Lots as a player when I played in Hartford, playing in this division. It, just great memories. I had one, I think it was the first or second time I played in Montreal. We were playing a Saturday night. It was hockey night in Canada, and we came up, and I remember I came over to the rink early for morning skate, and I was out there just kind of looking at the ice, and Guy Lafleur came on before Montreal practiced, and he was practicing one-timers where he used to shoot it from the power play and the offside, and he had a pail of pucks out there and just hammering them. Every puck was right underneath the crossbar, and I'm standing there thinking, I got to go out there and block that one of these times tonight as a penalty killer. And the first time they get a power play, he comes out, and he gets a one-timer. I come out to block it, and he hit me right in the toe. And I remember saying to him, I just watched you this morning shoot 50 pucks right underneath the crossbar, and then I come out to block it, you hit me in the toe. That's the first one I saw you hit low. Hit me right in the toe and broke my toe cap on my skate. So there's some great memories here. Some of the playoff series in Montreal were great memories, and some tough memories, but some great atmosphere in games and that. So it's certainly a hockey city. The tradition here and the love for the game and the passion for the game makes it great games here all the time.
Jack Michael, 6:30 CHED.
Dave, I know it's only a couple games, but just kind of piggybacking a little bit on Archibald, have you maybe found something with Archibald, Kara, and it seemed to be a real effective line for you?
Yeah, they've played very well here the last couple of games, so we'll see. You know, JJ is really his game. He's moving. He's physical. He's he made one great pass last night on the back end. So he's I give him credit. He's come back in and off the taxi squad and played very well. And the two guys beside him, Ennis has come back in and played well, and Archie. They look like a fast line. JJ is a very stable player in the middle there. So it's a couple of games they've been real good for us.
And Dave, concerning the back-to-backs, and I won't spend too much time on last year because I know it's year to year in your mind, but 7-1 last year, 3-0 this year on the back end of a back-to-back. Is that merely just a coincidence? Is there something about your club that you feel, a character trait that you feel lends itself to success on that second night?
It's hard to say. You know, you try to prepare as best you can, and you know, players they're the ones that have to get on the ice and find ways to win. And there's certain nights when you might feel tired, but we never say that's an excuse not to win. You got to find a way to win anyway. So our guys embrace that challenge, and you know, it's turned out pretty well for us the last couple of years.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, going back to late last year, you moved Jujhar Khaira to center late in the year. I think it was like the final 4 or 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the postseason, he was really effective. I know he didn't get off to the start he wanted. He talked about it yesterday, but the last few games, he's definitely just like. Do you like him better? Do you feel he's more effective down the middle? You know, especially with his size and when he's moving his feet.
Where he's really a strong player is below the hash marks in our zone, helping our D, and below the goal line. He's you watch him down there. That's where he's got the most poise with the puck of anywhere on the ice. You know, and you know he can make a good play through the middle, and he can play in the offensive zone. But his D zone coverage and his ability to read situations down low is very good. And that's, you know, we're trying to maximize that player's strength in that position. When he was on the wall, he's down there less. As a centerman, he gets down there, he helps the D, and he does a good job of it. So he's, you know, you're always, as a coach, you're trying to find the best place for a player to maximize his assets, and that's why we put him to center. And he's done a good job down there. And now with the line, they're not spending much time in their own end. He's down there. He breaks up a lot of plays, and with Archibald and Ennis, they've got the speed to get up the ice. So hopefully it's the making of a good line. We'll see how it goes.
And your defense, only Montreal has more goals from the blue line right now. You have 10. Darnell Nurse has 5 of those. You know, for many years, usually Edmonton was in the bottom third. Is it just the emergence of Nurse, or what do you see that's leading to more offense from your back end?
Well, we're trying to stress this balance in offense more and more, and we expect our D to get up the ice. We expect our D to get shots on the net. So I think they've gone in a little bit. You know, we've got some fortunate goals, but that being said, we want our D involved. If you don't have your defense involved right now, you're behind the game. So we want our D involved to a point where it's not detrimental on the other end, but making sure that we, you know, we're putting the work in to get up and try to help the offense as much as we can. And like I say, some pucks have gone in the net for us.
Rob Tchaikovsky, Post Media.
Dave, Montreal gave you guys a little bit of trouble earlier on in the season. What was the difference in their sweep, and what do you guys need to do different this time?
Well, I think we're playing better now than we were early on there. And, you know, the 2 games against Montreal, the one we got behind early, the second one was early in the season, in 3 and 4 nights. I thought we looked fatigued, got behind and chased the game again. So it's, you know, they're a good team. They've got out to a great start this year. They've got real good balance in in goaltending D and their forward line. So it'll be a great challenge for us. I'm looking forward to it. I think we have an opportunity to hopefully play better tomorrow, and we'll see how the results go.
Yeah, you guys have come a fair distance from 3-6 when things look pretty grim to where you are right now.
Yeah.
What happened, and how important is it for everybody to just get that confidence and get a little momentum going?
Well, I think, you look at training camp and no exhibition games, you're trying to get your team together as quick as you can. We're with the goaltending situation, one goaltender, you're kind of scrambling to get everybody up and running. So, I think now we're getting a better feel for our team. Schmitty coming back will give us more balance in that situation with our goaltending. We managed to use a lot of people, trying to get as many people involved as we can with the taxi squad. So hopefully we're pushing the right direction. There's still some, I think there's still lots of growth left in this group, but we're moving in the right direction.
Final question, Jim Matheson, Post Media.
A couple of things, Dave. Your power play. It looks like Jesse's getting some work on the power play now. Dale didn't play. So are you still trying to find a player for your first power play unit you can put out there every game?
Well, we've got a couple different options, and there's different things that we look at, whether it be a left or right shot. When Neil is in there, we need a net front guy that's willing to go there and pay the price in front of the net to screen the goalie. Jesse's, he's more than willing to get in there. Chaser is. Neeler's been in there. Yamo plays a little bit there, more of he's got no issues going to the front of the net, but there's situations where you use more of a skill situation there. So we're looking for different looks on it, and we'll continue to use different people as we go on here.
Does it make it easier if you played Jesse there because he's on the same line as Connor and Nugent Hopkins, and they're all the same, as opposed to having somebody off another line when the power play is over?
Yeah, it's no. I mean, I guess you could look at it as easier, but it's not a big issue to slide somebody else in there. And if Jesse's not on the first one, he's on the second one. So it's you're coming with a bottom six group after the power play anyway. So it's not an issue at all.
And one last question: do you have any more update on Cassian as to how long you'll be out or what?
No, I haven't seen the doctors yet this morning. I'm hoping that they'll have a little more information about all our sick bay guys here today. We'll figure out where we're at today with the rest day.